Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It's about 8:40 a.m. Prices of BTC currently at 86.28. I just wanted to tell you guys again real quick that we are having a 50% discount special membership for our 1 month and 3 month subscriptions. All right, so I hope you guys do come join or consider joining. Again, all the gains reviews and stuff should tell you by now that aside from people now seeing the benefits of our advantage community, right? There's also just a ton of information and things to learn from our community. Like for example, in Bitcoin analysis, I do, every morning I do a video like this, but then sometimes I'll do early morning updates like today. I got one in at 5:30 a.m. Had a Zoom session, live session last night for my Advantage members, updates throughout the day, and so on and so forth. Okay, aside from that, I mean, obviously we have trade setups that we post, and I explain to people exactly what I'm seeing in the market, what position I'm taking, where I'm looking to get in, get out. So everything is pretty clear when it comes to us describing to you what we offer in the community, what exactly you could take advantage of, the kind of information that you get for the price. And again, for the 1 month, it's $50, and for the 3 months, it's $150. Okay, so that was from the original 1 month being $100 and 3 months being $300, right? So 50% off, you get 50 and 150. All right. Anyway, so now that we got the bills paid, all right, so let's get to it. Okay. So yesterday, our community was able to get in a long right around this area once we started seeing the breakout. All right. The one thing that we were hoping to do is I was hoping that this movement right here was going to lead to a continuation, but I guess I underestimated the strength of the bears trying to hold down the weekly open, which is this area right here, as you can see, 87.01. Okay, so though we actually closed, 1, 2, and 3 candles above, we were not able to close above this key high. This key swing high right here, right, or rather a lower high, was really the area that I was telling community members that if you did not get into a long where we did, right, it would probably be best to wait above this area. Of course, you could long above weekly open too, but the safer area would probably be above this wick high, okay, for a candle close. So that was 87.60. Unfortunately, we didn't get that. Overnight, we actually sold off, right? The bears took control, okay? So now let's reassess and see what's going on, okay? So let's start from the smaller time frames. So obviously after this big candle spike, right, what we saw was a bit of a consolidation-like movement right here, another thrust up, but this thrust up, right, was actually on lesser volume, as you can see right there, okay? So with this high volume that came into this movement right here, we didn't see a follow through with more volume coming in into this movement, okay? So we actually saw lesser volume on the second top. So if I was awake during the nighttime, I would have definitely saw this as a potential double top right here, and I would have probably closed my position as soon as prices started entering this area, which would be the first low right here after this first top right here, okay? So typically double tops, when people talk about them, it doesn't just mean that you have to have a top like this and another top, okay? It actually means that you have to take out the low that's been created between the two tops, all right? And obviously that wasn't the case. What really happened was, that was the case because what really happened was we did have this top and then this double top with lesser volume. And then once you start to see this candle right here, these couple of candles right here start breaching this low, that would have been essentially your sell signal, okay? Now, what I did just now was close out of my position right here at a small profit, okay? So, I got in around 86.03, got out around 86.37. I should have taken profit up here, right? But again, what the signals were telling me was, hey, we broke above the weekly open. We closed a 4-hour candle above it, right? And even this next 4-hour candle, we closed above it. So for now, it looked like, okay, we're closing above the weekly open. So our ceiling then opens up for the next key SR level, which was this area right here, okay? Which is 88.25. All right, so that was actually my big target. But notice we fell shy of about $20 from that target. And that kind of makes sense because I bet you that the bears were anticipating movement right into this area, and they torpedo the price right before price even got to that area. Okay, so this essentially creates a panic in the market, and it accelerates the sell-off. Okay, so this was actually a smart move on the part of the bears. All right. Okay, so again, now what we're doing is we're coming back to the area that we broke above. Okay, so I'm going to show this to you. Let me take off the volume right here. Okay, so remember that there's this kind of sideways movement going on right here, right? And then just yesterday, right around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we took a quick spike down, okay? And then we shot back up, okay? Again, I explained this to my community members yesterday of why this spike happened at the time it did due to funding, being struck at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is about, I think 8 p.m. UTC time, right? So typically, when the funding is positive, right, and the bulls do not want to pay that funding rate, what they'll do is they'll basically pull their orders, right, and the bears will basically take over and dump the price, all right? And so what happens is the bulls are actually setting a trap in this case for the bears, okay? So in this area right here, these 3 candles right here, if you notice right down here where the time is, all right, notice what the timestamp is of this candle right here, this middle red candle, okay? It's 1445, that's 245. And guess when funding strike hits? It's at 3 p.m. Okay, so that's this red candle right here. So notice that on this red candle, this candle comes in after the funding rate hits. Now, if you know something about funding, it is that you only get charged for funding if you are holding your position right at the funding rate, okay? It's not like a prorated, funding, okay? You only get hit with the funding rate if you have that position open right as funding hits. So it makes sense that the bulls essentially pulled their orders, sold off some of their longs, waited after the funding rate hit, and then boom. This is where after the funding rate, they don't have to pay the funding, and then price just skyrockets, okay? So this is not something that I anticipated for the reasoning of why this happened, but I came to know this after once price started hitting this area right here. And then essentially I decided to go long right here. And then once seeing that we are closing well above the weekly open on 2 consecutive 4-hour candles, I thought that overnight, for the most part, we should continue on up at least to 88.25, but we did not. Now we're coming back to that same level. Now, what is so important of the level that we're coming back to, okay? Now, notice, all right, the hovering of price action, where price was just moving sideways, up and down, $50, $100 here and there, right? Notice we stalled here for a little bit right before that funding rate was about to kick in, and that's where we sold off, okay? So that is exactly where price is in that red block right now, okay? So the fact that we are sitting in that red block right now, all right, and we haven't kind of spiked it and then pushed back up makes me feel a little bit uncertain on the bulls, okay? Basically what I could see is the long positions, right, drove this market up, probably took profit in this area, and then the bears took over again and pushed the prices down. Basically the point of origination where price sold off and then spiked back up, right? So the fact that price is sitting here, this is not really a bullish scenario, at least for the time being, okay? Now what I could foresee is, we spike right under this red block. Notice I left just a little bit of room right under this red block to take out this wick low, and the consolidation here before the sell-off. So this arrow digs in right around $8,600. It might even go a little bit lower, say, $8,580 or something, and then push back up, just in case we're trying to grab liquidity, all right? But I'm not gonna take a long, okay, unless I see this kind of movement spike down and then spike back up with some good volume, okay? Until then, I close out my most of my position in some profit. I was obviously hoping for higher targets, but sometimes you take what you can get in this market, right? So we'll see how this kind of reacts. I would probably say if you're looking to short, maybe have your stop just above these wicks right here or these wicks. And then I'd probably target, the lower end of this red block, or if you think that price is going to go lower, I'd probably target, 84.50 or 84.75, okay? for now, I'm still kind of under the impression that this is still a somewhat of a bullish, movement right here that's happening, right? Aside from the fact that, that is happening over here, if you start looking at the trading range, right? All we're really doing in the trading range is once we spike down below the trading range right here, which is right below the purple bottom channel right here, we spike back up, right? And so what we're really doing right now is we're still just hovering right at the bottom side of the trading range. We're not breaking down under it, okay? So in my opinion, this is still not the worst sign. Once we start closing, say, another 1 hour candle under this area, that might be another shortable opportunity, okay? But also keep in mind that the Monday low is right around this area, okay, 85.16. As I've explained to you guys before, I like to keep an eye on the weekly opens, the highs, the lows. Sometimes I like to look at the price in relation to the Monday open and low, as well as the daily open and low that we're in, okay? So, what I can sort of ascertain from this is that, again, we're still at the bottom half of the trading range, which is right below this white dash line, right? And we're kind of just hovering here. I mean, really no price movement has given us an indication that we're going to push higher. Even if we push higher, I'd probably say it's probably going to be like a, if you look at my wave count right here, right? So if this was the top of the fifth, okay, so what we could probably say is, as per Elliott wave, right? So this is probably your A. Your B might come up, right around the highs of this area, or even the 4 hour consolidation area right there. And then your C might dig in deeper, maybe right below this red X, okay? Or, where all this consolidation happened, okay? So let's put that C, somewhere over here, okay? So right around 82, maybe 81.50 or so. Okay, so we might actually be in this larger A, B, C correction after this fifth wave is ended. Okay, let's see here. What else? Yeah, we're still sitting above the 1 hour demand block right here. There's still a positive sign, like I said. For all I know, I mean, we could just sort of reverse from here, given the fact that, we already put in a low, we might put in another higher low. And then, once we get above this high right here, then that opens up the doors for like 8,900 or 9,000. Okay. So, I mean, that's, something that I foresee. I don't really know if that's going to happen just yet, given the structure of the candles right now. But one other positive sign that I'm seeing for, say, a bullish case is that, after this high right here, notice the high volume right there, right? So that dragged us down all the way to about 84.50, right? And then notice the next volume spike right there. Again, that dragged us back down to 84.50 or so, or 84.60. So notice that overall, the sell side volume is actually kind of going down like this, okay? Like that slowly, all right? Now, all we need, okay, is actually the buy side volume right here to pick up. And it kind of is in this area it's picking up. Now we need another, bigger volume spike right here, okay? So if we are to be in absorption phase and we're supposed to create these higher lows, it would probably be wise for the bulls to start pressing prices higher, okay? At least, as we stand at 86.28. If we go any lower, this is where, the bulls are a bit more susceptible to maybe a lower correction, all right? And if we start laying out some fibs, let's just say from this high to this low that we've put in so far, right? You can see that we were just able to break above the 382 fib right there, but not really able to close consecutive candles above that 382 fib. So this is actually, whenever I see sort of corrections like this where price goes from the top to the bottom and we see a retrace of the price only up to the 382 fib and then it starts selling off again, this is actually, more inclined to show the weakness of the price action, okay? Doesn't mean we can't just push up from here and just get spontaneous volume to kick in, but, 382 fibs are pretty important in understanding the strength of how price action is looking, okay? Like if you see, let me give you another example, okay? So once we had this big move up, right? If you look at this movement right here, right? From this first high that we had put in, right? Notice that price was actually bouncing right around the 236 fib, coming close to 382 fib, but really just, you know, bouncing above it, right? So you could see that, you know, in this particular case, that the higher the prices retrace, that actually talks about and speaks volumes of the strength of the price, okay? Now in this particular case, like I showed you, from this high to this low right here, once we map out those fibs, right, from this high to this low, right, that gives us a retrace of 382 from this high to this low and back up here, okay? So not really saying a whole lot in terms of bullish strength, but really speaking volumes in terms of bearish strength, okay? So let's hope, you know, that the bear side volume kind of fizzles out as we make this kind of movement down here. Hopefully we stop out more positions down here. And then, you know, we're ready to sort of push back up, okay? Let's see here. On the daily time frame, really not seeing a whole lot. I mean, I actually saw this as a kind of a positive sign as a tweezer bottom. And also I like the fact that on the second tweezer, typically, I like to see a larger green bullish candle. But now, you know, the follow-up daily candle is looking a bit more bearish. But again, we still have about 6-7 hours left in the day. I mean, anything can happen, you know. For all I know, we could just kind of keep spiking down for the next hour or two. And then by the end of the day, we close up, sorry, not that high, but we close up, let's just say up here, you know, around $8,800, $8,900, okay? Crazier things have happened, right? Obviously, you can see this candle right here, even this candle right here, right at the peak of the downtrend where people think that, hey, this is going to go lower, boom, price just spikes back up. Even right here, boom, price just spikes back up, right? So, you know, again, still got a whole rest of the day. I'm going to be watching, say, the 15-minute and the 1-hour time frames. Hopefully, we take out some liquidity here and then we start pushing higher. But yeah, I'll let my community know exactly what I'm doing. Again, if you are interested in this kind of content through the day, keeping you updated on the charts, what kind of positions we're taking, whether we're buying or selling, shorting or longing, whether we're buying spot buy positions in alts. Even alts, actually, we took away some pretty decent profit right here. You know, once we got that high of 9,000 for Bitcoin, we took away some profit from Litecoin, small loss in BAT, and some, you know, decent profit from Ethereum. Okay, and this was 3-4 days ago. All right. Okay, folks, I hope y'all come join the Advantage program. Again, 50% off for 1 month and 3-month memberships, $50 and $150. And you can pay via PayPal, credit card, or crypto, okay? All right, that's it. Take care, and I'll see y'all soon. Cheers.